Welcome back to Pole Barn Garage, my friends, where today we have yet another example of the finest motoring engineering from Britain, the Jaguar XJS. This XJS is a 1976 model from a time when Britain really meant something, and nobody's really sure what that was. This is not just an ordinary XJS, no, it's a red XJS. As you guys may recall, I do have a bit of an affinity for the Jaguar XJS. I think it's a fine looking automobile. I have no taste. Could this be the Jag to end all Jags for me? I've been on the hunt for the perfect XJS for a number of years, and this could be the one. Let's dive in a little deeper and see why I think that is. See, we have the Outlaw 1 wheels on it. I believe they're center lines. You have a ground effect package. Look at the aerodynamics. Makes the whole car lower and completely impractical, which is ideal. That's what you want from your Jag. Speaking of it sitting very low in the front, we will show the reason for that in a moment. We can see that it has 1990s Jaguar headlights installed. The one-piece glass designs, far better looking than the 4 round headlights. It is a 1976 model for the American market, so it has the additional 5-mile-per-hour shock-absorbing bumpers that are absolutely hideous and need to go away. Somebody has added these nifty Euro mirrors that flex so they don't break off. Those were really cool in 1987. The trunk doesn't latch. It's full of parts. It's got a lot of spares in it, which is typical. You should always travel with at least one spare Jaguar in your Jaguar to make sure that you get where you're going. Hidden behind our triplex glass is a very austere interior. Somebody has put some floor pans in. They've done a good job of it, it looks like. The headliner's pretty nice. We have these Sorello racing seats or something. Those are cool. This is a park brake for drifting, of course, while you're getting away with your ill-gotten goods. The real magic is under the bonnet, which will open, and there it is, immediately. Yes! Residing in the bonnet, in place of the 5.3-liter V12 the car would have originally been equipped with, is a Big Block Chevrolet. I assume it to be a 454, meaning 7.4 liters of goodness. This is a massive upgrade over the notoriously terrible V12 engine, and it is because of that I believe this may be the Jag to end all Jags. It looks like it's been installed remarkably well. It's not butchered in here. Even the air conditioning is hooked up. It's attached. It's got a 4-barrel Holley carburetor, looks like a spread bore Holley, bolted to a factory iron intake. I was not able to read the code of the engine, but I could see the second digit of the VIN stamped on it, and it seems to be a 1973 model 454. Now, the guy who was putting this car together over the course of 25 years, he died about 5 or 6 years ago. And the car had ran sometime before then, but it had never really been on the street. It was like a long-term project for him that just never panned out before, unfortunately, he passed away. Looks like the carb is free. Got an inline radiator fill here. There's still a fill port there, but this radiator is most likely out of whatever the engine came out of. That does not look like a truck radiator, so maybe we get lucky and this is a car 454, which would make it a little more peppy, but that is a truck intake on it. Now, they may have used a truck intake in order to attempt to gain some hood clearance, which we still don't have. You'll also note that even the cruise control is still hooked up. So somebody really tried to do this correctly. We got oil, very clean, good looking oil. Got transmission fluid, oh yeah, bright red. That looks really good, actually. And interestingly, we have a Mallory Unilight distributor. I have some experience with those, all of it bad. Now, I can tell you from unloading it off of my trailer, the car does not have any brakes. I think the most intelligent thing to do, especially given Jaguar and Lucas Electronics' fabulous reputation, is to just throw a battery in it and see what catches on fire. Battery in a Jaguar is, of course, in the back, and that's for performance, probably. I don't know what a lot of this is, but everything's here, and everything does look to be in pretty good shape. I don't know about the fuel tank. I didn't really smell anything coming out of there. Maybe it's empty. That would be pretty lucky. Yep. Normally I would see if the thing would even turn over with a breaker bar, but I don't think I can get onto the balancer on this thing. Which one of these is positive? Oh, they're labeled. This one has an N on it. Oh God, things are happening. Some relays are pulling in. The Lucas Electronics are getting ready to release their smoke to the atmosphere. And the only thing that's really going to bite us here will probably be that Mallory Unilite distributor. Those things are notoriously awful. They tried. Let's try to put a little wiggle on these. God, how do you roll the windows down in this thing? Oh, we got lights on the dash. Oh, come on, windows. I'm guessing that's what that is. Oh, what a disaster. Why did I buy this? Aha! That's a great sign. Damn, I wish these windows would roll down. It is like 120-degree heat index today. It's rather uncomfortable. That's okay, we could figure that out later. I am in a bit of a rush to try to get this thing started, mostly so I could pull it in the shop and work on it in a little more comfort than just out here. Let me go get some gas and let's just see if it barks off. This isn't one of my better ideas, but well, the fuel line is barely sitting on there and actually disconnected, so we'll just disconnect that for now and then see what pumps up, if anything pumps up at all. In the meantime, I will fill the bowl on the carburetor with some two-stroke gas, see what that does for us. A little bit down the throat. No squirters yet, but it may come around. Looks like the accelerator pump is frozen. There we go. Sometimes they just need a little help. There we go. Now she's working. Okay, I'm going to assume we have no spark. It may be a Unilite thing. Now, we don't want to immediately jump to blaming the Mallory Unilite when there's perfectly good Lucas Electronics for us to blame. So let's see if we are even getting power to the coil with the key on the on position, and I don't believe we are. So what that means is maybe there's a switch for the ignition somewhere, or like a kill switch. It's probably not a ridiculous assumption to go ahead and say there may have been wiring troubles with this car. The good thing is we only have to worry about a GM HEI distributor worst case scenario, and I would go ahead and just stick a hot wire straight to that Mallory coil. However, those Unilites are super sensitive and they will only run on a resisted circuit, I believe. I think if you hit those things at 12 volts, they pretty much just croak and die immediately. Let's see here. There's this. I don't know what that is. Going off memory here, but I'm pretty sure the factory fuel injection on the V12, they basically use a GM HEI ignition module, so I'm assuming they run on 12 volts. They probably have a resistor somewhere in line with the factory wiring going to the coil, or the coil itself is a resisted coil. And I've pulled the lower dash panel out, and I'm looking, I'm just not seeing anything obvious wrong. That doesn't mean anything when it comes to Jaguars. But it's probably not actually a Jaguar issue. It's probably a somebody made this a lot more complicated than it needed to be issue. Did a little research. It looks like the Mallory does run on 12 volts, but the coil has to be a 1.4 ohm coil, like a Ford Duraspark coil. In that case, I'm just gonna run a jumper wire to it and see what happens. I am okay with doing some wiring butchery here because I am not opposed to rewiring this whole car if we have to. I'm just gonna make sure we got power on the back of the alternator, which we do. And so that being the case, we can very simply just connect a jumper wire from the coil, positive, straight to the back of the alternator charge terminal, and we'll be in good shape. There we are. We now have power on the coil. Let's see what happens now. Let me give her some more fuel. Come on, Big Block. Yes. Hell, it runs all right. I did not pump any fuel, but who's to say there's any fuel in there? I don't think it's running 100%, but it's not running too bad. Just making sure all the plug wires are on. I thought I heard a dead hole, but maybe it'll just take a minute to pump up. Let's fire it up again. I'm just gonna see if anything comes out of the tank at all. Well, it runs. We can say that for sure. But no fuel pumpage. That's alright. Either the tank's empty or the fuel pump's bad. Although it looked fairly new, so who knows? Maybe I'll try dumping some in the tank and just see what happens. Is it empty? That sounds really empty. Let's put some gas in it. This might be a waste of 5 gallons of gas, but I think it's worth the experiment to find out. Otherwise, we'll just go with a boat tank for now and a clicky-clack to get it in the garage. Frankly, the less work I have to do to this, the happier I'm gonna be. The cool thing about a Jag is I can watch the gas tank as I fill it, and I don't see anything running out of it, so can't be too bad. All right, it's a decent amount of fuel in there. Let's see if it sucks anything up. Hell, it idles. Kinda. No fuel yet. Oh, whoa, whoa. All right, it's pumping. Holy shit. The damn thing was just out of gas. Look how clear that is. I'll be damned. Let me get some hose clamps and maybe a new fuel filter, and we'll just hook this up. But shoot, it'll probably work. You can usually judge how long a car's been sitting by the condition of the fuel hose. And it's not bad, actually. That's still usable. Holy crap, that's hard to get down into. The fuel filter looks pretty rough on the other hand, so, you know, if we're gonna be here anyway, we may as well change it. Oh my God, who did this? It's like it's not supposed to have a 454 in it or something. Ridiculous. I'll change the hose since I'll be here anyway. It does have a clamp on the fuel pump, which is, you know, borderline completely inaccessible. While I'm working, I'm just gonna get like a mental list together of things I think the car will need. Lower radiator hose is pretty crunchy. In fact, I think it says GM on it, so it's probably fairly old, but you know, do we really need that? The carb itself actually ran fairly well, and it may come around and be okay. It didn't look like it was leaking. Belts could definitely stand for a couple of belts. Those have seen better days. I'm not someone who's paranoid about much, but I do prefer a metal fuel filter if it's going to be in the engine compartment. I'm kind of a stickler on that. I'll use the clear ones for diagnostic purposes, but you know, we know it pumps, so. But don't worry about the gasoline sitting on top of the engine. I mean, that'll be fine. There's no double standards in my world. We'll clean this up a little bit better eventually, but for now, this will work. As long as the needle and seat's working, we'll be fine. There, let me preemptively rebuild that needle and seat. There we go. Alright, let's see if it'll run. Just gotta hook up our ignition here. It's very professional. It's very safe. Easy to shut the car off if there's any trouble. You know, you just rip on this wire and eventually it'll shut off. There we go. Come on, Jag. Alright, she's coming around. It's running better. Oh, yep, well, the carburetor leaks quite badly. Very, very typical here. The O-ring is leaking. That feeds the bowls. Very common. Will it catch on fire before I get to the shop? Maybe. Sometimes. Let's whack that back into place, maybe. Oh no, it's leaking from not just there. It's leaking. Yeah, that's the only spot I see. Dang it. It kind of looks like that pipe's just not all the way in. It isn't all, that's why. There. I mean, the O-rings are shot for sure, but let's try that. I need to get the damn thing to idle a little bit. Also, the accelerator pump arm is completely out of adjustment, which is great. I don't know what they were thinking here. We may just want to get a kit for this thing and go through it. Pretty simple carburetor. We bump up the idle on it just to make it idle. Oh, the accelerator pedal fell off. Well, there's a lot of homemade stuff here. You know, I'm not one to judge, but it's not the best. That's better. Got a cam in it, I think. So I hear a vacuum leak. That PCV valve was unplugged. Maybe we should get that plugged in and look for some other vacuum leaks. That accelerator pump is leaking. Not too bad. But, you know, a lot of times the seals will just swell up with heat and use. Maybe we can get lucky. This homemade throttle cable thing here is, it's exceptional. That's some brilliant engineering there. I think I can repurpose the old fuel hose to make a PCV line out of it. It needs a 90-degree PCV valve, but this will work for now. There. That's one leak fixed, and then this one is definitely leaking. Yeah, it just snapped. Not sure what the hell that's going to. I think it's going to the HVAC controls. A lot of these I think I can fix just by cutting the ends off, shoving them back on. Oh, not that one. That was a line inside of a line. There we go. What else we got? Modulator valve. There's no vacuum advance on a Unilite. So I think that's about it. Let's try again and maybe see if we got some gears. So like I said, there's no brakes, but I'm sure we can make do, probably. Maybe the handbrake works. Alright, well the good news is it's leaking a lot less fuel. The bad news is it doesn't move. I guess I'll check the fluid. Probably ought to see if there's any antifreeze in it too. Yeah, looks bone dry. Okay, let me get some of that too. But before I do that, let me see. Yeah, it sucked it down. So, if it ain't moving, the damn thing's got to be nearly a gallon low, so let's just put the contents of this in there and hope for the best. I got a gallon of water here. I'll just give it something to chew on here. Oh good, it wasn't totally empty. Yes, it's pretty empty, but that'll do for now. Today's video is brought to you by Brunt Boots. I'm still lost in the jungle. I'm not very good at directions. Thankfully, I packed a lunch. And thankfully, I have a pair of Brunts on my feet still, so I can attempt to find shelter somewhere. We're nearing the end of summer, so we're gonna have to find a winter home. You just see me clear that ravine? Couldn't do that without my Brunt boots and their slip-resistant soles and incredible durability. I think I see some civilization ahead. You, who's still in civilization, should use my code, POLEBARN10, to save 10 bucks off a pair of Brunt boots. Check it out, there's a link in the description. It appears some vagrants have made a home here, or perhaps a lost civilization, such as the Mayans or perhaps the Aztecs. Finally, somewhere to kick my feet up and take a load off of my Brunt boots. A throne fit for a king and his Brunt boots. Make sure you use my code, save yourself a few bucks, get you some super durable, slip-resistant, very well-made Brunt boots. My lunch here is a Marin. This is an American-made Marin boot, very high quality. I love these boots. Summertime, I prefer the slip-on boots. Get dinner going here. Really been struggling to find food. I'm running out of boots to eat, actually. Let's try again. Will it move? Will it burst into flames? Will the damn windows roll down? No. Oh yeah. Okay, well the move's really good. It has 0 brakes, which is terrific. Alright, how do I do this without running into something I actually care about? Not that I don't care about the Jag. Oh, this is gonna be really hard to do with one hand, guys. Alright. Power steering works. Oh yeah, we're moving, and it's dead. Is it on fire? Do I care? Oh, come on. Here we go. Oh, the door opened. That's okay. Oh my God, that's a tree. There we go. Ooh, it's spunky. And it's dead. Look, this is the way it goes when you drive a Jaguar. It's 100 feet at a time. Did the front the front brake's just locked up. Are you kidding me? God dang it. There's no fluid in it. How is that even possible? There it goes. There it goes. Really? It just... Okay, we're in. Just spinning and sliding all the way up. Okay, well, it runs. It's not that bad. I got a carburetor rebuild kit coming. I'll probably go ahead and ditch the Mallory Unilite because I do not trust that. But just some basic stuffs on the mechanical end. Definitely some wiring and brakes. Although they are doing something, which is better than nothing. I'll take that. That means things are at least kind of working. Alright, it has been a few days here. I had to do some other things, the video you saw last week. Now we're getting back on the Jag. Before we get started, I want to mention, see this shirt I'm wearing here in beautiful desert sand. These are the cheapest shirt available by any YouTuber. I would almost guarantee it. $14 gets you this shirt, either in this color or in high-vis green. This is how we've managed to make a super budget, affordable t-shirt that you guys can get at polebarnmerch.com. It's been a long time coming. It was one of the first things I asked them to try to work on over there. I wanted a shirt that anybody could just pick up. You know, I mean, these are better than Walmart prices, you know. So the more you buy, the more volume we cover, and the more I can actually do this. So please go pick you up a $14 t-shirt. We got our work cut out for us with this Jaguar. Pretty much every system on it needs a little work, and I kind of want to start with getting it running right. Let's start here, get the engine dialed. We know the transmission at least works. Then we have a lot of wiring problems, and not to mention the brakes don't work. So I really want to start with the important things, and that is engine and brakes. We'll try to get it all done by the end of this video. I'm going to just start by rebuilding that carburetor. This is a Holley 4165 spread bore double pumper. It's about the best carburetor you could replace a quadrajet with. So there's no reason to replace it. I got a rebuild kit for it. Let's start tearing into it. Now, I am not and do not claim to be any sort of carburetor rebuilding expert or magician. I'm good enough that I can usually make them work, you know. If they were already kind of working, I can usually make them work right. So I'm going to get this thing unbolted, and these spread bore Holleys, they're kind of a pain in the ass to bolt on, actually. The back two studs are actually really close to the fuel bowl. They actually take a special nut. It's a very thin hex nut, and they're 7/16 hex rather than half, because the pattern is, well, it's like a ½ inch inboard. But these carburetors were meant to be quadrajet replacements when they came out. So they bolt directly to the quadrajet flange, which is not only spread bore, but the bolt pattern is different. So they worked with what they had, and it means that it takes a little bit of swearing and creativity to get these damn nuts off of here. Alright. Generally speaking, the only things you're going to need to take a carburetor apart is a flat blade screwdriver and maybe a pair of pliers. So since we know it was just pretty much just leaking, and there was no fuel in the car, so it probably sat dry. It did not run bad. So I think if we just take it apart, rinse her out, then put some new seals on everything, like the bowl seals here and the feed tube thing, like all that's going to need replaced. The downside to these, though, is the floats are not externally adjustable. You got to pull the bowl off to adjust your float each time. And then they also like to get very stuck. Ugh. Try taking the front one off first. Oh yeah, full of trash. And is that red RTV? It sure is. Yeah, this thing's pretty bad. I got a late start today. The parts store's already closed, and I don't want to alarm you too much, but I'm out of brake clean, so we're going to need a lot of brake clean to get this thing right. And likewise, the secondary bowl is also full of crud. So on the secondary side of a double pumper, you have a metering block, and it should just pop off of here. It's got a power valve in it. We need to be able to replace that. Give her a really thorough cleaning. This is where you're going to run into your problems. There. We'll clean those up. New gaskets. Hopefully that takes care of it. I'll go ahead and pull the base plate off of it. I knew there was a good reason for taking this apart tonight, even though I didn't have enough supplies. And that's that the big ones, the secondary butterflies, those are frozen. I didn't know if it was a linkage problem or what before, but now I most certainly know they're quite frozen. I found half a can of brake clean, that might help, and some of this citrus degreaser here. This stuff actually does a really kick-ass job at eating varnish. It's something I've found. That thing ran pretty good for not having secondaries. Let it soak for a minute. It's starting to come free. I had to pull the butterflies out. And now, if I take a pair of channel locks to it, I can just barely make this thing work. This is a good thing because that's a very expensive carburetor, and I don't even know if they make base plates for these anymore. Well, I'm back out here today and just trying to make a little more progress. I want to get this carburetor done at least. If you use a degreaser or something, it's really going to help you get the gaskets off. That's the big thing. These old paper gaskets, they stick and fall apart. They're miserable. I gotta let some of that soak. I got the main body pretty well cleared out. I stopped and got me a case of brake clean this morning. So we can go ahead and reassemble the base plate. Now that the secondaries sat overnight, they rotate very nicely. So we're getting there. We are getting there. The nice thing about a Holley is that you can kind of work on each component individually. So like right now I can go ahead and reassemble the base plate, new gasket between there, make sure all this works, which as you can see it does now. This is going to seem like ABC stuff for a lot of you guys, but I think it's worth mentioning, especially I know we have a lot of younger audience members, and you know how you see me grab a screwdriver or any blunt object and just beat the hell out of a carburetor, right? Well, I'm not just doing that just for kicks. Whenever you're doing that on a carb that's been sitting for a while, what you're trying to do is free up the needle and seat. This is your needle here, and then here's the seat in there. It's the little nut looking thing. So what this does is raise and lower with the float. So when the float comes up, this needle plugs off the seat, doesn't let fuel in anymore. And then what happens is, like this one, it's gonna be hard to see on camera, but it's actually deformed. It's no longer a cone. It should be a cone that seats into a socket, plugs it off. What happens is they get stuck. They hang up in there, and then it can't come down to fill the bowl with fuel, and it'll act like the car's out of gas. You whack it a couple times, it frees it up, and sometimes that's all you got to do. You keep running it and running fresh gas through it, it's fine. But whenever they're deformed and they are no longer a perfect cone, they're kind of off, that's not going to just unstick and stay that way. So this needle and seat needs replaced. And on a normal Holley carburetor, it's actually very easy to do. In fact, you don't even have to take the carburetor apart. On these, you do have to disassemble that whole float assembly, and it's a little more involved. But how these fuel is, that tube that was leaking on the side of it, basically it just dumps fuel into the bowl. There's no control to it at all. It just fills it until it can't take no more. When you're adjusting floats on a non-externally adjustable Holley carburetor, you got this kind of float here. What you're going to do is you're not going to take any kind of measurement. You're just going to look for this distance right here. See this? You want it to be parallel with the bowl. So we're just going to look at it. We're going to make sure that it's parallel. It's a little bit high, so I'm going to do the wrong thing and push on it a little more. That's pretty good. If you have to make an adjustment, you take a little screwdriver, you stick it between the tab on the foot of the float right there, and then you just give it a little twist, and that will lower your float. Then to raise your float, you're not supposed to, but you can just push on it a little. If you push on it, you theoretically can damage the needle and seat, but it looks like it's working fine. Everything's happy. It's doing the thing. There is a Holley spreadboard double pumper that functions, maybe. I got a thick quadrant gasket on here, and so we'll put that on. Let me bolt it down, we'll hook the fuel line up, see if it runs, if I've made it better or worse or somewhere in between, and then I want to change the ignition system up. But one problem at a time, just in case something's wrong with it. I don't want to change more than one thing and end up chasing my tail. If you change one thing at a time, it's easy to go back and know that if it doesn't work or isn't right, you know what did it. I made a discovery on this thing. Know how it didn't have any power to the coil before? Well, it's got a ballast resistor mounted on that fender, and one of the wires was off of it. I plugged it in and it works. Go figure. Well, let's see if it runs. Pretty cool if it did. We got to get some fuel up to the carb. Anything yet? Huh, nothing yet. That line may be dry. Let me go ahead and fill the bowls. Well, we didn't start a fire the first time. Thankfully, life gives us plenty of second chances. Yeah, whatever. Good enough. Hopefully it'll draw something up. Well, it runs okay, it seems like. Oh, come on. Oh. I messed something up in this thing. Not sure what, but my idle air mixtures are not doing anything. Okay, so the key doesn't shut it off. Oh my gosh. I think I know what's wrong with it. Damn. The front float, I think, is too low. It must have got knocked off of adjustment somehow. It's just pouring liquid fuel out of the front boosters. It definitely has a cam. It runs fine. It's just way too rich. Whew. I've taken it apart a couple of times now. I don't know what's wrong with it. Also, the car has developed a gigantic coolant leak. Is it coolant?
That's like gasoline. That's
gas? The car has developed a gigantic fuel leak.
Yeah, that's gas.
That's all gas?
Yeah.
Did the fuel pump explode? Like, maybe it was the fuel pump. Like over-fueling or something? Well, I would look at it, but, you know. I don't think it's fuel. I don't know, crawl under there. Well, anyway, regardless, I'm going to swap this other spread bore Holly I've got onto it just to, I don't know, troubleshoot a little, I guess. Let's see if it runs any different. Yeah, what is that?
Hose.
Oh, did it rub on something?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh. Yeah, so that's where all the gas came from.
Yeah. That's what was spraying up.
This thing was about to be a fireball. I don't think there's anything wrong with the carburetor I rebuilt. I mean, I specifically remember that carburetor running too lean on a Pontiac 400. And this sumbitch is pig rich again. So, what do you think? Spark? Like, it's running fine, but my God. That's two carburetors doing the exact same thing. So it's not that. Unless the fuel pump is just going nuts or something. That doesn't make any sense, though. The needle and seat should stop it. If it were the fuel pump, we would see fuel draining into it right now. And there's not. So why is it so damn rich? Well, I gotta tell you, this is a new one for me. The only thing I can think of is that the timing is so far off that it's not igniting the fuel right. I didn't jump to that straight away because I had just rebuilt that carburetor, and you know, I'm not a pro, kind of figured I might have screwed something up. But maybe I didn't screw something up. And maybe it is timing or ignition related. I mean, I have suspected the Unilite from the get-go. So let's swap a distributor into it and see what that does. Pop the cap off of there, and then just make a note of where it's pointing. A replacement distributor is a Chinese small cap HEI. I've actually had really good luck with these things. I don't hate them. And you know what? Since we can't shut the car off, why don't we just go ahead and wire this thing up on a toggle switch or something? There we go. One Unilite. You know what a Unilite's really good for besides a door stop? Tunnel ram application. They fit really well with those. Alright, get our new Block Performance distributor in. Well, we got to change our plugs because we have a different style cap now, and that's alright, but we just want to mark where number one is on our cap. Ish. Everything is very ish here. Oh my gosh. Come on. Just snap in there, you piece of shit. There. Alright. Where's it pointing? This one. So that's number one. We can lock down the cap, and then we can start putting plug wires on. Alright, my distributor and plug wire kit came with a new coil, so we may as well change that too. Why are there 4,000 wires going to this? That's fascinating, really. Let's eliminate most of that and just put this thing on a toggle switch. Call it good. Look at this mess. Look at all that. Why? This isn't Jaguar stuff. This is just stupid stuff. Why? What is this? Go away. Get out of here. Get out of here. Alright, we're all wired up here. I got the new coil installed, and at least we can turn the car on and off now. Let's see if it runs. Already tried to. It should go without saying. I'm sure our timing's not exactly spot on, but let's see if it'll if we can get it close. Yeah, a little off. Needs a little more advance. Let's try that. Fire. More fire. Yeah, fires are cool. It's still not good. Try to clean the plugs off with some water. I'm not gonna lie. It's better. It's a lot better. I mean, like, I was able to breathe around it at least. But it's still horrible. Well, guys, I think I've come up with a solution here. Or I think I know the problem anyway. It's possible that... So this car never drove, ever. Like, it just idled around and it was assembled. I know that much about its history. I bet all 8 of those plugs probably look terrible. But I'm going to tell you, I can't get them out. I can get maybe 5 of them, but I can't get the other 3. I mean, I guess it could be done, but I don't want to do it. So I'm going to just assume the fuel pump is fine. It doesn't seem to be filling the crankcase with fuel. I can't imagine a mechanical pump pumping so much fuel that it's doing this. But I could see, especially considering we changed the distributor and the timing, and now the spark is hotter, and it's not nearly as bad as it was. It's possible the plugs are just so fouled up that it can't clean off. And this thing, obviously, has never been flogged hard because it has no brakes. You can't. So I'm going to dump some transmission fluid down the throat of the carb with it running. And then we're going to shut it off, and that's going to sit on the electrodes of the plugs and the valves and everything else, and it should soften up the carbon on there really well. And while we let that sit, we'll go ahead and do the brakes on the car. Then we can fire it up, and once we can drive and stop the car, I'm going to take it down the road, and I'm going to beat the holy mother-loving hell out of it. And maybe we can blow the plugs clean enough to see if it improves or not. If it improves it, I might be willing to put a set of plugs in it, but maybe you got to do them from underneath. Maybe we can look at that too. Either way, I'm about to make a smoke show. And yeah, you could use seafoam or whatever to do this, and that works perfectly fine. But transmission fluid is available right now because I had it, and it also works fine. It is a lot better. Maybe this will help it the rest of the way. Oh my God! I think it helped already. Where are you? Oh my God. I'm in the mist. Gotta get closer. Gotta get out of here. Come on, guys. Where's the door? There it is. Oh my God. Dude, there was definitely something in there. Holy crap. I bet those plugs are pretty clean. I guess I should just wait a minute to work on this. I also probably shouldn't be in here. The fumigation is complete. There's a whole lot less wasps in here now. I've never done brakes on a Jaguar. In fact, I've never even touched them. They're strange. I'm a little concerned, but I know the master cylinder's bad, and I know the front to rear brake line is rotted off of it, and there's all kinds of funny things going on under here that I'm going to show you in a second. Let's get under there. This is the front to rear brake line. It's rotted in half, I believe. That appears to be the fuel line there, so we need to fix that. The exhaust is hanging off of it here. But here's the funnest part of it all. See that? That's a brake rotor. The brakes are inboard on a Jaguar, not out by the hub. Why? Who knows? I mean, I'm sure it was better or something. I gotta tell you, I don't want to mess with that. And I can just see from here, it ain't nothing but rust up in there. There's no way any of that comes free. And how on earth are you supposed to service those? So here's what I'm gonna do. Let's get the front brakes done and get them working, and we'll think about what to do back here. It looks pretty damn terrifying. Let's do a master cylinder and get the front brakes going first. Little by little, you gotta do something that lets you take that baby step first before you just jump into the fire back here. So we may as well start with the master cylinder, which, as you can see, uses an external reservoir and feeds apparently both sides of this master cylinder through this reservoir, which, if I recall, is totally empty and disgusting. So we're gonna have to take that off, clean it thoroughly, get this master cylinder off, and I did actually find a replacement for it. Start off by playing a little brake line roulette. Hey, alright. The good thing is the fittings are 11 and 13 millimeter, which is close enough to 7/16 and half, so I can use a line wrench. Nice. The other good news is that the proportioning valve seems to be right below this. Very easily accessible. I think I'm gonna remove this cruise control junk out of the way. What my plans are for the car is to just have a thrasher. I'm definitely not worried about cruise control, nor would I ever trust it. Long-winded son of a bitch. Curious to see if this car uses 45-degree flares or bubble flares. European cars are a little different than Americans. And she's a bubble flare. Alright, well I do have the tools to do that actually. See there? That is your bubble flare. It's not inverted, it's experted or whatever. Does the same thing, just a little different. See if this reservoir comes off. Kinda. They don't really leave you enough room to get a socket on it. Yes, this is the British engineering you've all heard so much about. Superior, to be certain. There's a nut on the bottom of it. Of course there is. Why wouldn't there be? It's a Jag. Let me just try to hose it out from here. Otherwise, I'm kind of afraid it's going to break. The good thing is there is a little bit of brake fluid in it, so maybe all hope isn't lost. What is this gray-blue junk? These little plastic fittings are how the fluid gets into the master cylinder. I guess I'll just set those to the side. They seem like they're in good shape. Here's our new master cylinder. I was able to find that pretty easily. Fortunately, it doesn't even resemble this one, which is, I love that. That's great. I think it's just got a different size O-ring in the front here. Like this part here is not the same at all. Both of these are the exact same size. Wait, these don't fit either. Oh, great. Oh, that's terrific. Why did I buy a Jaguar? Okay. There it goes. Good Lord. That thing is sealed on there. Oh, yeah. Oh, boy. It's not good. That's been leaking for a minute. That's all right. Look, it's new again. On the other hand, these two master cylinders don't really resemble each other. The threads look like they're the same-ish. The inlets are not right at all. Here, I got the O-ring out of this one. Maybe I could pull the O-ring out of the new one and just swap that. Well, both of them, technically. I don't know if that's the right move or not. It's either that or we take the guts out of the new one and put them in this one. I got that from Rock Auto, so I kind of took a gamble on it. It was $100 for that. O'Reilly's wants like $250 for one, and I'm just not there. I'm not even buying tires for this thing. I'm not that committed to this car yet. I got one of them in. Fairly straightforward. Got to get this O-ring out of the old master cylinder without destroying it. That's the real key here. It's going to slowly work this little screwdriver around. My pick tool's a little bit too sharp, I think. The screwdriver stands a little better chance at not destroying it. This is high stakes stuff here. There we go. Hey, I got it. One piece, didn't hurt it at all. It's gross, but that's all right. Clean her off. It's good to go. That at least lets us run fluid into the master cylinder. Now, whether or not, you know, those were a different size because everything else is different about it, it's very likely. They're there, boom. They snap right in like they're meant to be there, so I'm going to say it's fine. And I'm a professional. I have owned 2 Jaguars, and like most Jaguar owners, I know nothing about how they operate. Get this installed. I don't think there's any way to bench bleed this other than doing it on the car with the reservoir. So we will attempt to bleed just the master once I get the reservoir hooked up. And that helps get the air out of the bore of the master cylinder. I mean, sometimes if you're lucky, you can get away without doing it, but I would prefer to not take that chance. We got enough questionable stuff as it is. All right, I'm going to clean up all these lines and fittings. They are pretty gross looking, like this crud coming out. I'm going to get these as clean as I can before I install them on the new master cylinder. That may or may not actually function. And I'll go ahead and replace these rubber hoses as well, because I noticed that they very clearly state that, well, they are fuel line, and see how that's disintegrating? Brake fluid eats rubber that's not made for it. That's just going to happen. That is very stuck on there. And I need to be very careful not to destroy these probably unobtainable fittings. I don't know if they are or not. It's a Jaguar. I'm confused. Try to get this reservoir as clean as I can. Yeah, that's better, I think. Maybe a little squirt down the old brake lines here too, just for fun. Oh yeah, that's gross. Very gross. Yeah, we're gonna have to flush all this. Clean the lid off and whatever the hell this is. Ugh. Is this some kind of valve? Oh, it's a level switch. Brake fluid level. I see. American cars don't need those because, you know, our cars work. Let's get it as good as we can. There we go. We got some brand new hoses on here. Everything's all cleaned up. That's pretty nice. I got JD here. I'm going to have him run the pedal. Let me fill this reservoir. This is a weird external reservoir master cylinder, so we'll see how this works. But I think if I just put my fingers over them and you pump the pedal, it should bleed. There we go. Got a little bit. There it is. Okay. It's bled. And it's a mess, but not my pristine Jaguar. Oh dear. Let me get these stupid bubble flares started again. And I think we can call that good. That seems like it works pretty well. Somewhat conveniently, the brake lines union through the apron over here, so you can kind of get to them. I do appreciate that they are unioned inside of the engine compartment so that they don't rust, at least not nearly as bad as they do if they're inside the fender well. And, you know, that's a little bit of good engineering. It doesn't make up for the rest of the Jag, but... Alright, let me get this off here, and then we'll start pulling the caliper and see what the hell's wrong with it. Alright, there's the brake hose. So we got him out of the way. It's either the hose that's collapsed and holding the caliper on, or it's the caliper. I'm gonna guess it's the caliper is rusty or something. Let's get this off. It's not a Kelsey Hayes caliper. It kind of looks more like a Delco caliper, actually, for like a Corvette. 4-piston design. I'm sure it's something different. Alright, let's get this caliper off. I soaked it last night before I turned in. But good Lord. They're not reverse thread, are they? I mean, that would be dumb, but you know, it is a Jaguar. I can get an impact on the bottom one. I might be able to get one on this top one if I bend the brake line out of the way. It's coming off of there, alright. That's good. It's got a bracket for it, but it looks like it goes up somewhere around the ball joint. I don't know if I'm going to be able to remove the bracket, but with the line out of the way, and then if I can get that hose all the way off, we probably stand a chance at being able to pound an impact on here and probably break the bolt off, ruin the caliper, and have to buy one. But the damn calipers for this thing were, I mean, they were, O'Reilly only has one that they can get. I don't remember which one. And it was about $100. On Rock Auto, they can get them all. They're cheaper, a lot cheaper, but you have to pay a core charge on them. That means you have to return it to Rock Auto, and it's a pain in the ass. I mean, I don't think anybody actually does that, do they? So I just got rebuild kits for them, seals and you know whatnot, just to clean them out, reseal them, call it good, reman them yourself basically. And I've done that many a time, and it's worked out well. But you got to get them off to be able to do that. Got it. Wow. Upon a little research, it seems like you do have to separate the caliper into 2 halves to remove it, which is unbelievably stupid. Let me try to get these bolts out. Thankfully, they actually all came out pretty well, even this bottom one. It sure seems like it's going to run directly into the spindle. You know, American cars, you just take out like 2 bolts or even like a slide pin, and then you're done. Yep, that's brake fluid coming out at me. Yeah, it's loose. It's got fluid in it, which is good, I guess. I got it. Stupid internet. There was some guy on there separating the caliper halves to do brake pads, which you don't need to do. It's a convertible caliper. You can put the pads in regardless. There's 3 bolts you got to remove out of the back of it. See this? That's the freaking spindle, the thing I thought was in the way. Well, yeah, it sure as shit is. It's everything bolts through it to hold the caliper on. It's pretty dumb, but hey, we didn't waste any time or anything. We have to separate this caliper anyway, so let's get this thing apart, see how bad it looks, and then hopefully throw it together. It definitely needs a rotor, but you know what it's not going to get? A rotor. And you know what else we need to check right now is just bearings. Honestly, feels fine. The cool thing about these is they actually have a zerk on them. You can pump grease right into the bearing. You don't got to pull it out and pack it. You just pump it full of grease and it'll be fine. That feels actually pretty decent once we get all the dirt and stuff out of it. Getting these slide pins out to get the pads free is proving to be a little bit of a challenge. It's very crusty in this thing. They use it's not even a cotter pin, it's like a safety wire, and it's inboard next to the pad. There we go. Starting to get it. This is a lot like playing Operation, you know, that game you played as a kid. I was always really not good at that. I killed him a lot. Presumably, I can take a punch probably and knock him out. Yep, pretty crusty. And the pads are pretty crusty. And they do not want to come apart. There we go. The safety wires that hold those pins in must be these little clips that are on the pads, but they just rotted away. Let me try to clean these pins up to get them out. Then we'll start trying to get the pistons out of these. We gotta get the dust boots off. Wow, that, yep, that came off in pieces. Oh yeah, piston's stuck big time. Let's get them both off, I guess. And we may have to do the old hit them with air trick to try to blow these open. Better start soaking these, I guess. So I really hesitate to hit these things with air to pop the pistons out of them, because for you to do that on these, you have to put the air in on the piston side, which means you have to be in front of it to make that happen. I would like to avoid that if possible. So I'm going to take a pair of channel locks here and see if I can't just grab the piston, get it to move a little bit maybe. Let's try this one. Yeah. Alright, so we can twist it and get it broke free from its gunk in there. All this so I could save a few $100, but I don't know, you guys probably relate, I imagine. You know, one other thing, this damn caliper repair kit I bought comes with dust seals and O-rings, right? It doesn't come with the O-rings for the halves of the caliper. Thankfully, these actually seem to be in good shape still, but if you had to replace those, you'd just kind of be SOL, I guess. You got to be kind of careful here that you don't tear up the piston, because it is aluminum, or aluminium. Come on. Jeez. I may not have a choice here. I may just have to hit them with air. Oh, this is going to suck. That one's even worse. It's got 3 holes for air to come out of. This one, I think I can at least kind of direct it away from myself. Yeah. You see why I'm scared of that? Oh, I guess the O-ring is in the caliper body, I see, rather than on the piston. That's why they won't come out. See, the thing is, you got to plug all the holes to get the damn thing to move. These are going to take some work. Holy cow. Don't get impatient when you're doing this. Just kind of work it back and forth. If you can get it out manually without the air, that's the key. So you don't launch it. Oh, God, they are junk, though. God damn. I'm going to soak the pistons in some Super Clean. I'll spray some Super Clean into the calipers and try to pick these seals out. Just 2 O-rings. Yep. So they are a little bit better designed than the GM Delco caliper that used a lip seal on the piston. They're just notorious for leaking. I can tell you one thing, the sons of bitches, they weren't leaking, were they? Because they took a hell of a lot of air to get them out. The bores feel great. They're not all chewed up or anything. We can salvage these, no problem. But that's your caliper piston seal. I got new ones of those. We packed those in, and that's all there is to them. Flush thoroughly. There's where the piston was stuck. Right there. It's going to be tough to see in there, but there's evidence of galvanic corrosion with the aluminum piston and the steel sleeve, but it hasn't pitted it or nothing, so I'm going to let this other half soak a little bit more, so maybe it's a little bit easier, and we could just work on getting this side fixed up and reassembled. When you go to clean up the bores on these, or wheel cylinders, master cylinders, whatever, a little emery cloth or some fine grit sandpaper. I got 360 grit sandpaper here. That'll work. You're not trying to reshape anything. The only thing you're trying to do is just polish it up and make sure there's no burrs in it. So you don't want a little burr of rust or a pit that piston gets stuck on, or sometimes you could smooth a pit out. Just taking my thumb and running it around the edge of it, not trying to dig in or anything. Boom. That's pretty smooth, feels good. And this is how you can save, you know, yourself quite a bit of money. And I have 4 caliper rebuild kits. I don't know if I'm going to work on the rear ones yet, but I got 20 bucks in them versus $400 in calipers. All right, put your pistons back in, get a little brake fluid, lube up the piston with brake fluid, lube up the O-ring. They're going to be a damn tight fit, and that's what you want. Just tap them in, boom. Pretty straightforward. That's 1/2 of the caliper is more or less remanufactured. So let me go ahead and not kill myself blowing these out, and get this reassembled and throw it back on the car, and then do it all again. Wow, that's not the one I thought was going to come out. Where'd it go? Ah, hey, that's the way to do it. Gotta get the brake bleeder out. That's another key thing to rebuilding your calipers. Let me just, before I even touch it, I'm gonna heat her up. Well, it's on fire. That's a good sign. Now it's no longer on fire. That's a good sign. Ah, got it. Hell yeah. So we're gonna clean that out and make sure we flush the bleeder and flush the bleeder hole and port and everything. But we're in good shape here. We're gonna put our dust boots on. You put this very stretchy piece of rubber on there, like so. Make sure you get it rolled around that lip like that. Then they have a retaining ring here, and just put that on. Try to get 1/2 on, seated, and then you just stretch for the rest of it. Just stretch it out, get it snapped on there, and there we go. Boom. That is 1/2 of a rebuilt caliper. There we go. Let's go ahead and make this rotor brand new. Oh yeah, that's trashed. Anyway, let's go ahead and run it anyway. Hopefully I don't regret mounting that caliper and before I put the pads in, but I mean, I guess I just made the assumption that you can install the pads. Are you serious? Like, they do this so that you can just pull the pin, change them, put it back together. Are you freaking serious? I have to take it back off? Why? There we go. There. I like these usually. There. I think these are just anti-rattle clips. Then the pin goes in through here. Yes. And then there's a couple of cotter keys that hold it together. What a terrible design. May as well finish this side all the way out and get our new brake hose on. I like the slinky stuff they've got on these. That's pretty cool. Helps it bend really well. Might kind of look into doing that on more cars. That's a good idea from Jaguar. Those are words that nobody's ever mentioned before. All right, hook this hard line back up and we're gonna be in business, at least over here. I'll go ahead and knock out the other side quick, and then I suppose we'll crawl underneath it and see what the rear brakes look like and just how much of a nightmare we're gonna get ourselves into. Just poke this hose up through the apron and boom. JD's gonna change the oil in this thing while it's in the air. And put some good VR1 in it and a Wix filter. Probably full of gas, I imagine.
Seems fine.
You put the plug back in, right?
Yeah, I did.
Sure.
Yep.
Well, the front brakes are taken care of. Let's get under here and, I mean, we'll put our eyes on the rears. The good news I saw is that the brake line is actually intact. I don't know what that other line is that was busted up there, but the brake line, it's here and it's somewhat accessible. It's, oh my God, you know, this is one of them jobs I wouldn't mind having a lift for. That's the brake line right there. He goes up to a little rubber hose, and the hose feels all right, like it's pliable. And I can see that there's quite a bit of brake pad left on these things. I'm gonna see if these brake bleeders are bust free. Odds are probably not in our favor here, but if I can get a socket on it rather than a wrench, it might stand a chance, and that ain't gonna happen, is it? Shit. Ah, it's pretty tight. I'd heat them up. I don't know what good that would really do us. Oh, yeah, this is I mean, what am I gonna do? Make them not work? They already don't work, so. Try a ratchet, if I can get this up in there, get a little more leverage on it. Oh, I got it. I got it. Now this don't mean the brake line won't blow out, but we can make a brake line as long as we can figure out what the hell size it is. That's alright. If we could bleed one of these back here, there's a chance it would actually work good enough to make them both work. So there's a chance. That's what I'm saying right now. I got on it with a socket. I'm gonna try to work it back and forth. I would love to show you what I'm doing. It's just not possible. Keep working it back and forth until it either snaps off or I get it loose, I guess. I got it, and not only did I get it, there's brake fluid back here. Let me top off the reservoir. I guess I'll have to get someone to help me bleed them. Well, we got another one of those that's just gonna bleed itself, apparently. She's bleeding away on the rear already. The right rear, I got up to go fill up the reservoir, and by the time I came back here, there's a damn puddle underneath it, so I'm gonna say it's probably good. Doesn't seem like the fronts are gonna bleed, so got JD in the car, and we'll just pressure bleed these and see how many brake lines we can blow out. Go for it.
Holding.
Mm-hmm.
Holding.
Oh, got some air that time.
Holding.
There's some fluid. We're probably pretty close, and we didn't explode a brake line yet. That'll just happen when we go drive it. We wreck it, I leave it on the side of the road, problem solved. Rear brake line just blew up.
Oh, crap.
Damn it. Right where it looked crusty, right in that corner. That's not surprising. Well, that means it's working, though. So, I just have to put a brake line on it. It's not the end of the world. Here's our brake line. And this side is a bubble flare. And that side is a 45-degree inverted flare with a female coupler. The good news is both of them are salvageable, so I can reuse the fittings. I don't know if I can make bubble flares or not. I can make a DIN double inverted. Is that a bubble flare? I guess I could try it on a piece of scrap and see if it looks the same. I don't know. I only do American cars, so. I'm missing the double inverted, I don't know, whatever, the DIN thing to make stupid European bubble flares. But I can make a 45-degree flare, so I can make that end of it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the line right here, and then we'll just union in another chunk of line, and I'll put two 45-degree flares on it, union it together. A union is an acceptable repair, that's fine, it'll hold up. Compression fittings are not, never do that. This little chunk of line seems to be in pretty good shape, so shouldn't be a problem. One new brake line coming right up. Alright, let me get under here and try to bleed these stupid things, and we'll just see if we end up with some brakes. Oh, it has 4 shocks on the back. That's necessary. Alright, brakes bled. Look pretty good.
Yeah.
I can tell they're working out here. I mean, the rotors are pretty bad shape, and I don't know what the rears look like, but I know there's enough pad left on them. They'll probably last a while. At least it'll stop. We can actually drive the car now. That was a nightmare, though. I hate everything about that. Hopefully from here on out we can just kind of do fun things. So we run, we stop. Now we need to get that exhaust tied up off of there and finish up anything that's left to do on the underside of the car. Before I do that, I'm going to try to get some grease in those front bearings, just in case. And then we're going to tie the exhaust up somehow. I got a couple of hangers. If we can just get it up and, bolted back up tight, at least make it a little quieter for now. Obviously, it's going to need a full exhaust system, but it's a little more involved than I want to get into immediately. I think if I just take one of these hangers, put a bend in it like that, I think I can screw it right to the floor. It's not going to be great, but it should work. Yeah, so that's going to be a little tall. I got to get this muffler up. It's barely attached, but I want to hang it from this side of the muffler since that side of the muffler is basically rotted away. But, you know, that's not our problem yet. I got this all rigged up. Pretty cattywampus, not gonna lie, but it should work. It'll keep the muffler from dragging on the ground, at least. That's all I really care about right now. So we'll just go ahead and shoot a couple self-tappers into it. It does sometimes become necessary to pre-drill your self-tappers with a self-tapper. I don't know if that still makes them a self-tapper or more of a drill bit. I don't know. There's probably some science here, but... what a pain. Oh my god. Why? Why is it... I mean, some cars, man, some of them just hate you, you know? Like, anytime you just try to help them and they're just like, nah, go fuck yourself. I don't understand it. Clamp on here. Wrong size clamp, but whatever. Doesn't really matter for us. I mean, yeah, it's going to drag on every speed bump, but so will the fuel line. I think the fuel line and the brake line will take the brunt of the impact first. Oh, man. These lead pipes are so rotten and destroyed. There's no chance they're ever going to seal, but we can make it a little better. And I just happen to have 2 collector gaskets that are the right size, so let me get this thrown back up. At least with them bolted tight, it won't fall off. Well, I got it bolted back up. You know, this side over here, I just tightened it because, frankly, I can't get to the top collector bolt. There's no room. Whatever the old gasket was, it's actually still in that passenger side, and it looked like it was still kind of good. It must be some kind of donut gasket. This like slipped into the header and it has a piece of rubber on it that seals it. I don't know. But I got this side put together with the regular collector gasket. It's gonna leak, but it should be a little quieter. Let's find out. All that smoke is the transmission fluid we left in it. So don't be too concerned about that. Fire it up again. Damn thing ran out of gas. Not surprising, we leaked quite a bit of it. Got a hell of an exhaust leak, but it's not too bad. Yeah, the damn thing was out of gas. Hey, either that or the fuel pump died, or it's dying. Blow the tops out. It's running pretty good now. Oh yeah. Smooth. Oh yeah. That's not bad. Smooth, and it doesn't sound good, but it's a hell of a lot better. At least it's quiet. And we flogged it a little bit, got some of that blown out of it. I could hear it cleaning up as it ran. I think that may have been a lot of the problem. And it's smoky in here. It's the transmission fluid, but I can breathe in here. It's not like eye-wateringly horrible. Oh, hey, look. Oh, what's this? Fuel return line is spraying out of it. Yeah, that's what that is. Ah, hey, that's where all the gas went. Just go ahead and pinch that off. It's really clever routing here. It's brilliant, really. And I'm gonna fix that real quick. I'm glad I did it before I put the car on the ground. Then I would have been very upset. It's a real trick to jack one of these up. Well, yeah, that's fixed. Just 6 feet of rubber hose in there, and that'll take care of it. I did mount the brake line and the fuel line a little better, though. It's actually attached to the floor now. So I'm sure we won't ever run into any other lines bursting or having trouble back there. Let's put the car on the ground. These wheels are fakes, I think. They don't say center line or anything on them, but they are pretty damn nice quality. I just aired up the tires, and I think I lifted the car at least an inch. These tires ain't great, but they are from this millennium, at least. I think these are 2008. Oh no, 2013, even better. Hell, I was out of high school by then. It wasn't that far ago, was it? Anyway, they're good enough to cruise around town on, and that's all I'm willing to commit myself to at this point. So never say never. I may fall in love with it, but let's just hedge our bets. That's important to do when you pick up a new project car. Unless you really love it and you just want to go balls to the wall right away, maybe just dial her back a little bit so you don't end up dumping a ton of money into something you're never going to get it back out of. As it stands right now, I could probably make a profit on this car. I gave $2,700 for it. And I'd say running, driving, stopping, I'd probably bring $4,500. I think I've invested maybe $300 to this point. Like, not much. Well, probably more than 300, I guess, with the distributor and stuff. Not much. I mean, I don't know, maybe 500 total. Either way, I'm in good shape. And along that same vein, let's try to put this interior back together and make it not look so awful. I suppose we should start in the trunk. We got a grill here, so that would be good to put back in. Obviously, we got a console. We're gonna want to put that back in as well. But before we really commit to that, we need to try to get those windows to roll down. That's a must. Oh, and sorry to get off track, but I found that air cleaner in the trunk also. And I think it'll fit. I don't want to latch that yet, because the latch is still messed up, but I really think it's got the room for it, so that's cool. Lots of spare parts, hood struts, which we don't need. Dash cluster thing with buttons, you know. Don't really need that either. I don't know what the hell this is. Oh, seat track. Might need that. This is the carpet for the car. How possible? What the hell? No, these are just pieces of carpet. Oh, driver's side console. I see. It's written on it. Well, I guess the carpet goes in pieces. That's a pain in the ass. Here's the trunk latch. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and install that. I love that he kept all the hardware in bags and then labeled none of it. That's very handy. Got seatbelt hardware, kinds of stuff. I realized that the seat isn't attached to anything. That's probably going to be a little bit of an issue, but we'll figure it out. Well, he's got this seat bolted to something up here. I'm not sure what, but at least the front of it's attached. That's something. I'll take it. I'm going to go ahead and yank it, and then we can clean up in here, get the carpet in. But before we do any of that, I mean, look at this wiring disaster. Now, I don't want to mess with hardly any of it. It seems to work for the most part. I just want to get the damn windows to roll down. That's all. That's all we need. Alright, we got some room to move around in here now. Okay, well, I just started pressing buttons. Did you hear that? Something clicked, like a circuit breaker. So there may be a short. Yeah, it's tripping a breaker for the windows. At least that window. That one's trying. Come on. Yeah, maybe with some help that one will go. Alright, well that's good. So if this one is tripping the breaker, it's probably a pretty fair possibility that the window is shorted out. The window motor. I can actually, I bet you the breaker's in that kick panel. So it needs a window motor, most likely. What else doesn't work in here besides everything? Oh, that works. Dome light. The rear window fire maker here, it probably works. No wipers. No horn. Radio? No radio. Blower? Probably don't want to know. Alright, but hey, I'll take what I can get. I kind of want to bypass that breaker and see if the window rolls down. You never know. let's start a fire. Or, you know what the other much more obvious answer is? They had it plugged into the wrong one. This isn't... These are your window colors here. That's passenger window, that's the driver's window. What the hell is this? I don't even know what would that do. Why is it the same exact switch? It's just plugged into the wrong one. Hang on, let me try again. But wait, if those are clearly not the window, what was moving in the door? It doesn't have power locks, I don't think. Oh my god, this is a nightmare. There we go. Yeah, just gotta break it in a little. Well, that's good. Well, we have one window. I could probably spend all day trying to work on that passenger window, and we could probably figure it out, but what I would like to have is a schematic before I really dove into that. Let's put that on ice for now and try to get some of this interior reassembled, just so I can feel like I did something today. There's no way all this carpet goes in this car, right? There's a lot of carpet and not a whole lot of car here. That seems to go there. I guess I'll just start poking around, try to figure something out. If we just get some carpet in here, bolt the seats in, get the console in, it'll be good enough. Alright, I found this driver's rocker here. I can tell because it had a hole for the seat belt, and the bolt is still in that, so we got a seat belt. Well, I'm going to go ahead and glue this in. Got some spray adhesive here. Just fog all that down and get her stuck on there. I found a couple of sill panels as well. That probably helps secure this. Alright, yeah, we're getting somewhere. Making some good progress here. I got most of the carpet in, not all of it, but enough that it kind of looks like a car in here, I guess. I've got the console just about attached. I gotta get a screw over here. The floor doesn't seem to be the right shape anymore, or something's missing. So it's just gonna kind of hang out in here, but you know, fake it till you make it, right? Even if you do drive a Jag. These seats aren't the easiest thing to put in, but I can get 3 bolts in it, and that's good enough for me. That's tight enough. Now, can I get my ratchet back? Yes. You can vacuum it out. I glued it in. Don't vacuum too hard.
Oh, okay.
It may come off.
Alright.
Let's get it good and clean, then we'll try to polish it. Plus, this will be our test drive portion of the program. But don't tune out, because I'm gonna see if I can bring this paint back, and I think I probably can. Transmission shift's good. Brakes are excellent. Might be all right.
Oh. Woo! That's pretty good.
That's not bad, man. The tires are garbage, granted, but still, I'm cool with that. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa. What the hell? Dude. I'm not gonna drive this very fast. Nope. Something just, like, we hit that bump and we went that way. Like, it does not feel good at all. Really idling a lot. It's just spinning. These tires must just be junk. Anything weird?
I don't see anything.
I smell some gas. Oh, what's this? Gas. Oh shit.
Oh, I see.
It's that damn return line. It broke back there earlier. Well, that's not good. We didn't bring anything, did we?
That's dumb of us.
Very dumb of us. Rare of us. Here, put that over the hole. Let's see if it sprays, I guess. How bad is it?
Yeah. Just a drip.
Even if what if I get on it?
Yeah, that's bad. Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Pretty bad?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We're gonna have to do something about that. How far is the hardware store? Well, we'll figure out a solution to that in a minute. Let me wash this thing. Not trying to make it perfect or anything. I just want to get the surface dirt off of it and maybe blow a little oxidization off it so we can polish it tomorrow. Hopefully it looks something like that when it's done. Try to get the grease off of it if I can. Uh-oh. We're gonna walk over to the hardware store here and get a pair of locking pliers to pinch off that return line. What do you think? Think that did it? We'll probably right there.
Yeah, that'll work.
All right, watch it and see if it leaks. Good?
Good, yeah.
All right, cool. So, it's a lot of fun. I think a set of tires would do it a world of good.
I think so.
And an alignment. I think the other thing, I don't know if they sell like a higher rate spring or something for this, you know? Like, because it just bottoms out. It's on the bumps the whole time. But and maybe that has something to do with why it drives so weird. I don't know. But it's not bad. It just needs some like refining, you know? Like it could be a really cool car with a little bit of work. And that's what I wanted to try to figure out as we went through this. That's why I didn't spend a bunch of money, is because I want to make sure it was worth the effort, you know? The Chevy part of this is really good. And unsurprisingly, the Jaguar part of this is very terrifying. Very terrifying. Listen to that. It's got to be a front.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, we did notice that one knuckle in the rear was wore out, but I don't think it's that. This is a tire doing this, you know, running on the edge, flattening out. She's just made to make right turns is all. We could run Daytona backwards in this bad boy. I really want to punch it, but it's scary. I mean, it's not fast, but it's not bad at all. I don't know. I may have to hang on to this thing. I'm not sure. We'll see what the paint comes out like tomorrow, I suppose. And we'll see if we make it home. Oh, that was the muffler. No fires? I mean, we need to replace that return line. We could do that whenever, but I'm happy with this thing. This is the best Jaguar I've owned. That's for sure. Well, the other one did drive all the way from Arizona, I guess. Come look at this tire. See how hot it is.
Yeah, it is hot.
Is it hot on the inside?
Yes.
It's hot everywhere, you know. Maybe they're just junk. Set of tires, square up the front end, and I'd probably be just fine. Let's polish her out tomorrow. I think it's worth the effort. Let me preface this by saying I am not very good at this. You don't see me polish a whole lot of cars, and I need practice. So this is a pretty good opportunity to practice, I think. I'm going to hit it with some rubbing compound and I guess a wool pad. This paint's pretty dead, so I think it's warranted. I'm going to put a little bit down. We'll see what I can do. Like I said, I'm just not very good at it. But she's gonna shine up like a diamond in a goat's ass. Not bad. Like I said, I'm not very good at this. It doesn't really show on camera, and you're going to notice that a lot of times on YouTube videos, believe it or not. But there's a shit ton of swirl marks in this. But it's not terrible, you know. It's a significant improvement. I'm going to try some machine polish and a foam pad, see if I can get rid of those swirl marks. It might also be worth a shot of just trying this machine polish on the car with a foam pad. It'd be a hell of a lot easier. Maybe we can get away with that on the sides of the car and then, you know, really work the upper surfaces. Oh yeah, I think if we just cut open, see, this paint is junk though. I just wiped that off. I mean, just wiped it, and I left scratches in it with a microfiber. A good microfiber. I spent money on these, like 20 bucks. Shoot. Well, I got all the swirls out of it though. It's damn pretty. If we just break it open with the rubbing compound and then hit it with that machine polish, the car will be presentable. I don't know how many of those foam pads I'm gonna need though, because this paint, I mean, look. This paint's pretty dead. So one other thing we can do, instead of having to come back and hit that with machine polish again, I've got some hand glaze here. This is like your final step, so we're skipping a few things here, but if we just rub this in, let's see what this does. Just for grins, we're just trying to figure out a process right now. I don't do it enough to really have my own process down pat yet. Even hand rubbing it, I'm taking the paint with it. This is why I'm the, you need your car painted, I'm your guy. You need it polished, you better find someone else. That worked pretty good. That's pretty slick. That's pretty good, pretty good. It's still oxidized, so we'll see if it comes back. It's definitely gonna need a coat of wax, but if you stand back about, I don't know, 5 feet, it looks great. Get up on it, and you can kind of see. I'm happy with it. My arms are going to be very tired today. Coming right along. Sides of the car polish a lot better. Now I've only just roughed this in with cutting compound or rubbing compound, so we need to clean it up with the machine glaze. Same with the trunk lid, but we're getting there. I'm gonna knock out that other side, and then I'll probably just machine glaze the whole car again, because I was digging around and I found a brand new foam pad. So I say we hit the whole car with it again. Hitting this thing with machine polish. It's shaping up pretty good. It's not great, but it's a lot better. This must have been a nice paint job about 25 years ago, because it shines up great. It's been wet sanded, polished, like it was probably just beautiful. It ain't bad. I mean, it's got a damn good shine. It's disgusting now because I'm a mess when I do this stuff. And I have this one problem right here. Right here, this quarter panel's been blended. It's had another coat of paint on it. And you see how rough the texture is, maybe? It's right here, anytime I touch this, it just started to melt. So, you know, what are you gonna do? Here's the point where if you cared, you would like get some cleaner wax out and orbital the thing and get it like absolutely perfect. Me, I'm gonna go get my power washer out and blow all the compound off of it, and we're gonna call it good. This thing is great. Look at that. What a transformation. One, it runs, it drives, it stops, it runs pretty good. It doesn't drive very good, but we can fix that. There's a lot of room for improvement here. We can do the basics, the tires, front end alignment, just make the thing drive decent, drive the shit out of it. Or we could go a little bit further. Be pretty cool with a blower. You guys let me know what you think. Or, honestly, this is one I would probably sell. If you're interested in a Jag, I would consider selling it. So, I don't know yet, but if I do decide to, you'll be able to find out either here or on Facebook or Instagram on Pole Barn Garage. Thank you guys for watching. Please check out the merch site. Check out these cheap t-shirts we got and others, hats and everything else. And we'll see you guys next time on Pole Barn Garage.